I'm sorry. It's taken me so long, and I've been nipping on this. It's gonna liquefy. But what you will want to do is take a strainer and strain it. So there's not a whole lot left because I've been delayed. And just, strain it. And then you're gonna get a liquid, you see, like that. What you want to do is just cover it and yeah. You can sit it out on the counter. I like to leave mine out on the counter because it doesn't last long. As you see, it doesn't last long. But you can refrigerate it, I guess, for optimum health reasons. Okay, so I'm back. Yeah, if, for example, you want to make your cough elixir a little bit more potent, even though if you get a potent onion, let me tell you, it's going to taste really like strong and powerful, and it's good. Sometimes I get an onion that's not so strong tasting, it's kind of weak in the flavor, and it's not as powerful. But if you have a potent onion, this will be kicking. But if you want to add some essential oils like a peppermint oil, you can add a little peppermint oil to it, or eucalyptus oil, and just add a drop or two, to your taste. The peppermint and eucalyptus oils are very strong, so I don't suggest adding a whole lot, but like I said, you can add a drop or two. God has given us natural remedies to help heal us and to be a blessing, but we also need to use common sense. What else? Exodus 15:26, which said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and do that which is right in his sight, and do all of his commandments and his statutes, he shall put none of these diseases upon you, which he has brought upon the Egyptians. And it says, God is saying, for I am the Lord that healeth thee. So remember, it's God has made our bodies to heal naturally. But with natural remedies, I just want to tell you, you're going to have to be patient. Okay? You're going to have to be patient. It's not like taking a pill. So if you're impatient, then you might want to think of something else. The thing about it is that I really like natural remedies because, have you ever taken the time to read the ingredients that are in some of these things that we buy, the cough syrups, things you can't even pronounce? It's like, what am I putting in my body, which is God's temple? But Grandma's gone on, get away, stay away, and don't come back tonic only has 2 simple ingredients. Okay, I just want to remind you to do your labels. Do your labels. This is Auntie E's. This stuff lasts a long time. You can even freeze it, but the ingredients in there are so potent, like horseradish and just other stuff, that it's really, I guess it just helps it to store. And make sure they can adhere to the bottle.
Remember, onions are very, very potent and great to use for medicinal purposes. Say, for example, that you have a sick room in your home, and a sick room is simply a room where someone is sick. They're coughing, they're sneezing, they're not feeling well. Well, did you know that if you take an onion and cut the onion in half, and you set half of the onion on one side of their bed and the other side or on the nightstand or a dresser, that the onion is so potent that it will begin to draw and absorb the stench and the odor and the bacteria out of the atmosphere? As a matter of fact, in 1919, the flu killed millions of people. And there was this doctor that visited many farmers to see if he could help them combat the flu. Well, many of the farmers and their families had contracted the flu and died. But one house that he visited, to his surprise, everyone was very healthy. When he asked what the farmer was doing, the farmer's wife replied that she had actually placed an unpeeled onion in a dish in each room. Now, I prefer to cut the onion in half, but nevertheless, the doctor couldn't believe it and asked to take one of the onions and place it under a microscope. When he did this, he actually found the flu virus in the onion. So the onion obviously absorbed the bacteria, therefore keeping the family healthy. So this is just how potent the onion is, which is why we actually shouldn't be saving and reusing onions. And especially don't save them in plastic containers and plastic bags. If you are going to save it, please store it in a glass container and freeze it. However, I, for example, will store it in a glass jar and put it in the fridge if I know that I'm going to use it within the next day or so. Okay, so I try to use that onion all up the very same day that I cut it, even if I just sit half of it out on the counter to start absorbing odors, etc. Thanks for watching. And listen, if you have not surrendered your heart to God, why not do so today and let God start to make something beautiful out of your life starting today?